the Bible says that he begins to cry out. He begins to cry out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And then the crowd around him began to, say, they warned him to be quiet. But the Bible says he cried out all the more. I love that, man. He cried out all the more. And then Jesus stood still and commanded him to be brought to him. And then Jesus asked him, what do you want me to do for you? And Bartimaeus was specific, and he said, I want to see, Lord. He said, I want to see. And so Jesus Christ said, your faith has made you well, and he gave him his sight back. But what Bartimaeus did was amazing. What Bartimaeus did it says he followed him. He followed him, glorifying God, and then all the multitudes rejoiced as well, and they gave praise to God. Now, I want to just touch on a few things real briefly here in this text. First of all, it says that Jesus was passing by. Jesus was passing by. Bartimaeus cried out specifically for mercy. That was the first thing that he cried out for. He didn't cry out for his eyesight. He cried out for mercy, because that's what he needed most. Bartimaeus didn't need his sight most. He needed the mercy of the Lord most. And so he cries out for mercy. The next thing is that he didn't let the people who were telling him, be quiet. He didn't let anybody silence his cry. He didn't let anybody or anything silence his prayer. He's like, man, I need Jesus to act on my behalf. And then the next thing I saw in this text, you guys, was Jesus commanded that Bartimaeus would be brought to him, not to the crowd, not to the disciples, that Jesus would be brought, or that Bartimaeus would be brought to Jesus, because after all, Jesus is the only one that can do anything, right? He can do what we can't do, and we can't do anything that he can do. And so he had to be brought to Jesus. Like I mentioned, man, he was specific with his request, and I want to encourage you with that, man. Maybe, right, today, man, you find yourself sitting on the side of the road, right, on the side of the road of life, man, and you're feeling helpless and you're feeling hopeless. And I want you to know that Christ is passing by. Man, he's passing by you, and you need to cry out to him. You see, nothing's going to change in your life if you don't cry out to him. Right? You got to cry out to him. And be specific in that cry. Let him know, Lord, this is what I want you to do. Lord, I need your mercy. God, I need you to save me from this addiction. God, I need you to save my marriage. God, I need you to save me, from your wrath. Save me from me, God. Lord, I need you. Be specific. Bartimaeus was specific. And then, listen, trust that he can and that he will. Jesus told Bartimaeus, your faith has made you well. Man, your faith, meaning your trust in me, Jesus said. That's what the word faith means. It's trust, your reliance, your dependence upon me has made you well. And then, like I said, man, Bartimaeus followed Jesus. He got that new sight, man, that new vision. He got that mercy, and with that new vision and that new sight, he didn't follow the crowd. He didn't follow the disciples. He followed Jesus. And that's what we're called to do, right? When God has done a work in our lives, we may join ourselves to a church, and that's a good thing. Hopefully it's a Bible teaching church, a Christ-centered church. But we don't follow a man, right? We don't follow an organization or a denomination or a church. We follow Jesus. And then what you see Bartimaeus doing is he's glorifying him. Now, the biggest glory in Bartimaeus' life, the thing that he's making most of, right, is the Lord. And that's a true mark of a life that's been changed. Is that, I used to glorify this, I used to glorify that, but now I glorify God. And that was Bartimaeus, man. New sight, new vision, following Jesus, and now he's all about glorifying the Lord. And so again, man, I want to encourage you with that today. Man, he's passing by you, whatever you're going through, man, whatever you're going through. Jesus Christ is passing by you today, and you need to cry out to him, because nothing's going to change unless you cry out to him. I hope that this encourages you today. I want you to remember that the Lord loves you, and I love you.